Range of punishment is 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there a reason she's crying?
She's just upset.
All right, what are you upset about?
Situation. I didn't expect this.
What's upsetting you about the situation?
There's a lot of things that I should have done and I didn't do when she first arrived at our home.
Court is going to sentence you to—
All right, guys, today we're diving into one of the most disturbing court hearings we've seen in a while. We've got a full-blown crybaby defendant on trial for the abuse and death of her own child. Yeah, it's just as horrifying as it sounds. What really gets me is how someone can commit such an unthinkable act and then sit there in court sobbing like they're the victim. This case will seriously make your blood boil. The facts are gut-wrenching, and the attitude from this woman, honestly unbearable. The way she cries through the whole thing, it's almost like she's expecting sympathy. Let me know in the comments how you feel watching this, because to me, her behavior is beyond despicable. Now let's rewind and break down how all of this even started.
All right, state.
Your Honor, as you know, this case involves the death of a child.
All right, everyone, please whisper.
A pretty horrific death of a child. And at this time, they are allegations, but due to the serious nature, we feel that $200,000 is appropriate. But that if the court is willing to lower them, then obviously full conditions. But for something involving something like this, I feel like anything lower than 150 even would be just way too low. It also is a little concerning that no one's willing to help her, because then how is she going to be supported in the community? That's concerning to the state, Your Honor.
Well, just to clear it up, it's not no one. It's just people. Unfortunately, the people that are willing to help are just unable to do so financially. So.
All right, the court is going to deny the motion, and the court has had no evidence on what amount of bond that she is able to make. So at this time, the court will deny the motion. And counsel, if there's an issue, is your client in protective custody?
Yes, Your Honor, now.
All right, if there's an issue at the jail with her safety, just let the court know. But my understanding, she is in protective custody. Beyond that, that's all I can do. And counsel, I've always found them to be receptive if there's an issue with danger. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's the last we see of her in court, for now. But don't go anywhere, because what I'm about to show you happened 5 months later when she was finally sentenced for assaulting and killing her own child. This is one of those crimes that just boils your blood. There's no excuse, no explanation, just pure, unfiltered evil. And if the judge doesn't throw the book at her, I swear I might actually lose it. You don't get to take an innocent life and then walk out with a slap on the wrist. This is the kind of case where prison should be permanent, no second chances. Let's dive into the sentencing and see if justice was really served.
Court is calling 2022 CR 11873, State of Texas versus Yvonne Monica Perez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Allie Jackson.
Defense.
Matthew Allen.
Are you Miss Perez?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Did you understand you're charged with assault, intentionally, knowingly of serious bodily injury by omission with the child? Did you understand that's the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Range of punishment is 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Perez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her rights to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 18 years in the prison and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
I hate to interrupt, but I have to say this. The way this woman is crying right now, it's making my blood boil. She's not crying out of guilt or remorse, not even close. She's crying because every time the judge says prison, a fresh tear magically falls from her face like it's some twisted performance. It's wild. When she was out there committing this horrific crime, there were no tears. But now that it's her turn to face justice, suddenly she's the victim? Please. Right now, the plea deal on the table is 18 years, and honestly, that doesn't sit right with me. She took the life of an innocent child. 18 years just feels light, way too light. But what do you think? Should the judge accept the deal, or is a longer sentence coming? Let's dive back in and see what happens next.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
State Officer State's Exhibit 1.
No objections.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. Is there a reason she's crying?
She's just upset.
All right, what are you upset about?
Just situation. I didn't expect this.
What's upsetting you about the situation?
Try to do something kind and just,
It's just I don't know if the court has noticed, every time she's come in, she's been
Crying.
very emotional, Your Honor.
I apologize, Your Honor.
No, all right, I'm just asking questions. All right, if we can go off the record. All right, State, are you asking to amend the stipulations?
Yes, Your Honor.
No objections.
All right, and then the court will review State's Exhibits 1 and attachments with the amended stipulations. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anyone want to say why I should follow this plea bargain agreement?
I can speak briefly on that, Your Honor. I think for the stipulations, so the way that Ms. Perez came about to have the child was kind of strange to begin with. She, in my opinion, I think saw these two children that were on the streets. Her and her partner tried to help take them in. And then obviously there was an incident that Ms. Perez describes a week prior to this where, again, she should have taken the girl in for medical treatment immediately. And then obviously she fell from the stairs.
Let's backtrack a little bit. Because it says in the stipulations that there were two people outside of the store. She says she's being a good Samaritan. So she takes them both back to her apartment. And then she tells one of them, I can no longer keep you here. You need to leave. But I'll keep the complainant.
Yes, her and her partner. So her partner ended up, I believe, keeping the younger boy, and she kept the younger girl at the apartment.
And is this younger boy currently alive?
Yes,
Yeah.
Your Honor.
Yes.
And where is he?
As CPS has removed him, he's with other family.
Okay.
The incident described that is the leads to this tragedy. Obviously, Yvonne describes it as she's playing. Obviously, the kid shouldn't be playing on the stairs. We know that. She hits her head and her back. She seems like she's okay as far as checking on her. She's eating, watching
So why
TV.
would she pinching her as a sign of as punishment? Because that's what it says in the steps that she would pinch her.
Yes, sir.
Why?
It wasn't like I'm pitching her, just kind of like a grab, like just
It says it
to
left
prompt her.
bruises.
I'm sorry.
It said it left bruises.
Yeah, I'm just not buying this sob story, not for a second. This whole case is beyond disturbing. Like, how do you just randomly take two kids from out in public, bring them back to your place, and then, surprise, one of them ends up dead in your custody? That doesn't just happen. Now she's sitting there with that sad puppy face, like we're supposed to forget that she's the reason this child is gone. She doesn't care about anyone but herself, and these fake tears, they're fooling no one. I really hope Judge Boyd sees through the act and shuts this down, because honestly, I'm sick of seeing this woman's face on my screen. My heart just breaks for that poor kid she took. Imagine the fear they felt. In my opinion, this woman deserves life, no question. But what do you guys think? Should she ever walk free again? Let's get back to the courtroom and find out.
I didn't realize it was gonna leave a bruise. I didn't intentionally do it to like leave that bruise. The little girl, when my daughter was, when
And so I think she's describing as, yes, she again is admitting to that. It doesn't matter whether you think it's going to leave a bruise or not leave a bruise. I think we would agree. And then as far as her actions, she seemed like she was okay. And then the next morning, obviously she's not, and then drops her off at the hospital. And then obviously does another bad thing, just leaves her and then leaves. She does come back. She does sit down with the police. She does talk to them, tell them everything that's going on and what happened. Obviously, at that point, it's too late. But I can speak to Ms. Perez from the day I've been with her for 20 months or so, from the day I've met her until today. Every time I talk to her, she's upset. And it's not because of so much of her situation, it's because of what happened. And she knows that she did wrong. She knows she wishes she could go back in time and change all of that. And she says that every time I talk to her. And so,
Like maybe if somebody is offering you a child, maybe calling the police?
yes, going that far back. It's not one mistake. It's things that happen over and over. And again,
So was the child healthy when she received the child? Was the child healthy when you received the child?
the first one is Joel.
No, I'm talking about the child that is deceased. Was that child healthy when you received the child?
Healthy in a sense. I mean, she was
Healthy in the
skinny.
sense that
She was skinny.
Did she have all her hair?
Did she have all her what? Her hair?
On her head?
Yes, Your Honor. I mean, only like patches, like not patches, but like her hair was thin. Her hair wasn't thick. It was thin. Her hair was thin. And she came when I picked her up when Cassandra told me to go, and when we went to go pick her up, she had like a dirty little outfit. I bought her clothes. There's a lot of things that I should have done and I didn't do when she first arrived at our home. I should have taken her to get a welfare check. I should have done, and I didn't. I just
and like Your Honor said, I mean, the initial thing would be to contact authorities to go through the proper channels. I think CPS was contacted prior to this and made contact with Ms. Pettis, so they were aware of the situation. But again,
Aware of what situation?
that the girl was staying with Ms. Pettis. But
Was that before or after the child
before
was taken to the hospital?
before
So Child Protective Services was aware that somebody off the street gave her a child, and she picked up the phone and called Child Protective Services and said,
No,
"I have this child."
No, Ms. Pettis didn't. They contacted her. So again, I agree with the court. She should have done a lot of different things.
Well, I mean, I'm just unpacking things a little bit.
Yes.
So
The mother has extensive history with CPS and had different children taken away. So I think CPS was checking into the whereabouts of Ronnie and Howell.
All right.
It was that.
So that's how CPS found out that the child was in her care,
Yes.
and CPS did nothing.
Wow. If CPS really did nothing, that's absolutely insane. Like, yeah, we're charging the person who committed the crime, obviously, but how is the CPS worker just walking away from this with zero accountability? Your entire job is to protect kids, and you drop the ball this hard? That should come with consequences too. This whole situation just feels off. Like, this kind of tragedy doesn't just come out of nowhere. Somewhere along the line, someone ignored a red flag, or a dozen of them. Clearly, this woman is responsible, but what about the CPS rep? Or maybe even the partner involved? There's a web of failure here that nobody seems to be talking about. I can't shake the feeling that there's something darker going on behind the scenes, something we haven't heard yet. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Did I miss something? Or are you feeling that same deep unease about how this all went down? All right, let's get back to it and see what sentence she ends up with.
I mean, CPS workers sometimes, well, many CPS workers are overworked and underpaid, but I'm wondering why would a CPS worker, and this is just a side note, why a CPS worker would leave a child with somebody that a mother just gave to that's a complete stranger. I guess that's something else that needs to be addressed.
Yes, and like I said, the circumstance behind it are, just to put it, I guess, strange, and that's one of the things that I found strange as well, to, I guess, put it nicely. But
So why am I following this plea?
Your Honor, at this point, the state, after much back and forth, we recommended this plea due to what is actually being charged, and what we can prove. It becomes a question of whether or not we can prove that she did not seek adequate medical attention in terms of she has training as an LVN and attempted to keep an eye on the child at home. And it becomes whether or not we would be able to prove that she failed to do so due to how it is charged, Your Honor. And so at this point, we do feel 18 years for what she's charged with is appropriate.
All right. And does she have a license as an LVN? I'm assuming
She did in the past.
She did in the past, and then I needed to renew it.
It's
'cause I went-
expired, is that right?
Yes, and
Yes.
then I started going to school to EC. Oh, sorry.
that's okay. It's expired.
This is what the court is going to do. As previously stated, the court is finding you guilty. Court is going to sentence you to 8 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with minors. There's to be,
Judge, did you say 8 or 18?
18.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just make sure.
Did I say 18?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
It's okay. Matt and I are just this
Yes, all right.
morning.
18, yeah. All right, 18 years in the prison, credit for any time served. There's to be no contact with minors, and there's to be no employment in the future with minors or vulnerable persons. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
Not sentencing, we do have victim impact, Your Honor. Only one.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing, whether you had your LVN license or not, I saw where you took your dog to the groomers. When a child is sick, you take a child to the doctor.
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't know why. Sometimes people have more love for their animals than they have for little children.
Judge Boyd really had me sweating for a second. I swore she said 8 years, but even 18? Honestly, that doesn't sit right with me. Like the prosecutor said, they could only prove so much, but let's be real. There's definitely more beneath the surface. This woman should count her blessings because 18 years is a straight-up gift considering the gravity of what she did and the fact that CPS possibly ignored warning signs. That's terrifying. Their job is literally to protect kids. If they missed something this big, there has to be accountability. I'm honestly shocked that Judge Boyd didn't press harder on the CPS angle because if someone within that system dropped the ball, they need to answer for it too. This whole case just feels like a tragic failure on so many levels, and 18 years doesn't feel like justice. Not even close, but maybe I'm being too harsh. What do you think? Did she get off way too easy, or was the sentence fair for what they could prove? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want more deep dives into real courtroom chaos. I post every single day, and there's way more to come. Appreciate the support as always. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you in the next one.